Dear colleagues, hello. The Prime Minister will be here in 2 minutes. It will be a short speech in Ukrainian and then questions and answers in English. So use the translation, please, at the beginning. Dear colleagues, good afternoon. We are starting a press conference of the Prime Minister of Ukraine, Денис Шмигаль, on the results of the Recovery Conference in London. Prime Minister, floor is yours.
Thank you so much. Шановні журналісти, партнери, друзі, ми завершуємо вже другу велику конференцію з відновлення України. Щиро вдячний Великій Британії за прийом та організацію такого потужного заходу. Дякую всім партнерам і союзникам, які стоять пліч-опліч з Україною в ці важкі для нас часи. Наша стійкість – це сила українського народу, помножена на військову, фінансову, санкційну, гуманітарну підтримку наших партнерів і союзників. Україна завжди пам'ятатиме тих, хто сьогодні допомагає нам у боротьбі і у відновленні. Під час конференції з відновлення солідарність світу з Україною проявилась не лише в деклараціях, але також в конкретних практичних результатах нашої конференції. По-перше, Європейський Союз анонсував новий середньостроковий інструмент підтримки України на 50 мільярдів євро. Це надзвичайний сигнал, який демонструє віру в європейське майбутнє України. Дуже вдячні за це Європейській комісії, особисто пані президентці Урсулі фон дер Ляєн. Прем'єр-міністр Великої Британії Ріші Сунак також анонсував нову програму підтримки в розмірі 3 мільярдів фунтів стерлінгів на наступні 3 роки. Фактично, це теж середньострокова програма підтримки, яка теж дає нам бачення майбутньої перспективи, спільної майбутньої перспективи у відновленні. Крім цього, Міністерство енергетики України та МЗС Великої Британії уклали меморандум про енергетичне партнерство, який передбачає створення нового фонду викликів у сфері зелених інновацій, Innovations Ukraine. у розмірі 62 мільйони фунтів стерлінгів. Ми також підписали чергову угоду з Міжнародним банком реконструкції та розвитку, яка дозволить залучити 1,76 мільярди доларів США для фінансування нагальних потреб нашої країни і українців. Ми вдячні США, Великій Британії, Фінляндії за підтримку цієї ініціативи як донорів цієї ініціативи. Європейський банк реконструкції та розвитку підтримує українські державні енергетичні компанії Укргідроенерго, Укренерго, НАК «Нафтогаз України» на суму 600 мільйонів євро. Це кошти для того, щоб підсилити нашу енергетичну систему і сприяти нашій енергетичній незалежності протягом цього року. Європейський інвестиційний банк розпочне новий портфель проєктів для відбудови України на суму понад 500 мільйонів євро. США анонсували виділення 1,3 мільярди доларів. Ці кошти будуть направлені на відбудову та будівництво транспортної інфраструктури, на реалізацію проєктів у сфері цифровізації, а також посилення енергетичної стійкості України. Німеччина анонсувала виділення додаткових 381 мільйони євро, які будуть направлені в тому числі на гуманітарне розмінування, що є одним з 5 наших пріоритетів швидкого відновлення. Під час конференції ми також провели чергове засідання координаційної платформи донорів України. Відтепер співголовою платформи став віце-прем'єр-міністр України з відновлення Олександр Кубраков. Ми посилюємо нашу координацію з партнерами по пріоритетному питанню відновлення нашої держави. У зв'язку з цим міністр фінансів перестав бути співголовою, відповідно, віце-прем'єр з відновлення співголовою в цій координаційній платформі. Ми представили конкретні проекти відбудови, представили також систему DREAM, яка дозволить забезпечити максимальну прозорість і підзвітність відбудови. Працюємо над мобілізацією 14,1 мільярдів доларів, необхідних на пріоритетні проекти відбудови протягом наступних 12 місяців. Разом з нашими міжнародними партнерами ми формуємо коаліцію відновлення «We Build Ukraine». Разом з бізнесом з України та з усього світу ми також формуємо коаліцію для інвестицій в Україну Ukraine Business Compact. Вже 400 міжнародних компаній долучились до відповідної ініціативи. Ми розуміємо, що для відновлення приватних інвестицій нам необхідно створити діючий та ефективний інструмент страхування військових ризиків. Разом з ЄС, Норвегією, Швейцарією та ЄБРР ми підписали угоду про спільну роботу в цьому напрямку. Ми перезапустимо ринок страхування. Власне, у нас вже є перемога на цьому шляху. Багатостороннє агентство з гарантій інвестицій МІГА групи Світового банку почало надавати гарантії страхування воєнних ризиків в Україні. І відповідна угода була підписана з німецьким банківським холдингом «Прокредит». Під час конференції ми всі наголошували, що приватний бізнес, приватний сектор буде в центрі відбудови. Ми пропонуємо перспективні галузі для інвестицій. Ми пропонуємо конкретні проекти та співпрацю. Під час конференції підписали низку угод у різних сферах. Це дуже перспективні напрямки, коли міжнародні компанії будуть заходити на ринок України. І дуже важливо, що матимуть зразу українських партнерів на вході. Ще декілька важливих меседжів, які були озвучені і багато разів звучали під час цієї конференції, є надзвичайно важливими політичними заявами для України. По-перше, наші партнери підтримують ідею використання заморожених російських активів для відбудови України. Це про те, що ми говоримо весь останній рік. Росія має заплатити за всі ці руйнування, за всі трагедії, які вона здійснила і здійснює в Україні під час цієї неспровокованої, несправедливої, брудної агресії. Під час конференції наші партнери теж про це говорили, і це дуже важливе зрушення, коли ми всі знаходимося на одній сторінці. Росія має заплатити. Другий меседж, який теж постійно звучав в цьому приміщенні, це те, що Україна буде членом Європейського Союзу. Ми в цьому абсолютно переконані, ми робимо дуже багато змін для того, аби швидко реалізувати ці наші прагнення. Ми бачимо, що ці зміни та швидкі реформи змінюють ставлення багатьох наших союзників щодо того, наскільки швидко ми можемо пройти цей шлях. Ще раз хотів би подякувати всім учасникам, всім вам, шановні колеги і друзі. Завдяки спільній роботі Україна теж стає сильнішою. Ми відбудуємо Україну як частину єдиної процвітаючої Європи і гарантуємо мир і добробут наступним поколінням. Дякую за вашу увагу, дякую за вашу підтримку. Слава Україні!
So let's start questions. Your question, please, sir.
Доброго ранку, пане прем'єр-міністре. I'm Michael Batsukio. I'm a contributor to CNN Opinion and commentator on other global media. Prime Minister, I have two quick questions. Up until now in the war, various opposition entities in Ukraine have portrayed a united front. It's been very impressive. And have said there's only one enemy, Russia. Yet yesterday, Kyiv Mayor Vitaly Klitschko put out a video criticizing unnamed authorities for launching a stormy campaign to discredit the capital, authorities, and him. He said there is endless searches to paralyze the city, and it's brought chaos. I'm asking you your thoughts about this, not to put you on the spot, but to clear the air during this important event. And then quickly, secondly, Deputy Prime Minister Yulia Svitorenko said yesterday that Ukraine plans to increase in GDP in dollar terms 620% over a period of 10 years. That would be about 20% a year, more than post-war Germany grew at nearly 10% per annum through the 1950s. So 20% a year sounds a lot. Is that perhaps a bit of wishful thinking, or do you think it's achievable? Thank you.
Thank you so much. So first of all, I should say that during this war, we all understand that we should be very, very united. Inside of Ukraine, politically, in military sense, in all senses, we should be very united, and there couldn't be opposition because we are fighting for our lives, for our families, for our land, for democratical principles and values. So because of this, you're right, there is no opposition, we all are united. And very important to save this unity for all the partners all around the world, in all democratic world, in European Union, and we are fighting for this, for unity of all democratic world. About our strategy, once again, now we have a war, and it's tremendously tough to find proper numbers, proper prognosis, and we do it in conditions of unfamous and invisible future. So now we are forming our vision how our country should develop, and we are giving frameworks of our future development and our visions. So we understand that after this war, when our partners, when Ukraine will use confiscated Russian assets and invest this for recovery of Ukraine, this will increase our GDP, our economy in times per year. So we understand that 7, 8, maybe 10% yearly growing of GDP are immediately after war if we will create and when we will create proper conditions for investment for businesses which were presented here on this conference. Our economy could grow in very rapid way. So it's possible. We analyze many economies of the world, we analyze the best practices, and we can see that this is possible. So because of this, we gave this prognosis, we gave this frameworks, we gave this strategies and directions for development of special spheres and industries in our country. This is like a signals. But practical life will demonstrate, and we will see this everything. Now we are very concentrated on creation special, very beneficial conditions for our partners in Ukraine for investing. And one of the main questions, as I comment, is insurance of war risks for bringing more our partners and foreign businesses into Ukraine.
Thank you. Your question, please. Yes. Here. Raise up your hand, please.
Burak Bir from Anadolu. Since the start of the war, Turkey has been playing an important role for a peace deal. How would you evaluate Turkey's mediator efforts, and do you think that a peace deal can be hammered via Turkish efforts? Mr. Prime Minister, thank you.
Thank you so much. We appreciate all efforts of our partners, colleagues, allies, friends for supporting Ukraine, for bringing peace to our land. We are fighting once again for our freedom, for our lives. Turkey is a very important partner, is neighbor country for us. We are very grateful for Black Sea Grain Initiative, which Turkey support, and it let all of us, all the world, have so needed grain from Ukraine for Middle East countries, for African countries, for European countries. So we appreciate all the efforts of Turkey president, government, and we hope that we all together, with all our partners, with Turkey, with Europe, with United States, with United Kingdom, will reach peace in my country. We will win and liberate all Ukrainian territory according to the internationally recognized borders as on 1991. Thank you.
Thank you. The next question, yours, sir.
Thank you very much, Prime Minister. Yesterday, President Zelensky said that the counteroffensive is going slower than desired. Do you think that this message had maybe a negative impact on this conference, especially towards the investors? And secondly, if I may, as all European leaders yesterday said that Ukraine will be in the EU in the near future and in NATO, probably, when do you envisage that? When do you expect Ukraine to be part of the EU, a part of NATO? You mean maybe this decade or later? Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. First part of your question. So, as President of Ukraine have said yesterday, counteroffensive is not Hollywood movie, it's not easy walk. Counteroffensive is number of military operations. Sometimes it's offensive, sometimes it's defensive, sometimes it could be tactical pauses. Unfortunately, during our preparation for this counteroffensive, Russians were preparing too, so there is so much minefields which really make it slower movement into their head. But during the last 2 weeks, Ukrainian army liberated 8 villages in Ukraine. Liberated territory is more than 113 square kilometers. It's a huge territory. We move into ahead on 7 kilometers, in deep of line of the front on the occupied site. So we have good results, but we should all understand that every life for us is very important, every life. So we will not bring our people into the fire of this war as Russians doing. So Russian Soviet army is not counting on the human life, on the people, but we are fighting for NATO standards. We save our soldier, and we will do very smart offensive operations, and because of this, it could take time, but we have intention to move into ahead. We are moving into ahead with counteroffensive. We all should have a patience, and we'll see results, I'm sure, and we all absolutely optimistic for liberation all of our lands occupied by Russians. The second part of your question, EU and NATO, Ukrainian aspirations. We do our best. We implement all the recommendations, directives and rules of EU. Now we are in process of self-screening of Ukrainian legislation to AKI, European legislation and directives. Till the end of this year, we will implement all the directives and 7 recommendations. We will finish self-screening procedures and we will be absolutely ready for negotiation procedures for the EU membership. I think we are moving in a very fast way and we are not thinking about decades or 10 years. We are thinking about nearest times, about nearest years, and we do our best to implement this in reality. About NATO, it's very important for Ukraine, and it's not only for Ukraine. This is for Europe. Membership of Ukraine in the NATO is crucial for future European security. So I think that it also will take not so much time as you mentioned, but much, much faster. We are waiting that during this summit in Vilnius, allies will be very concrete in conditions, in dates, in their messages. And we are waiting this, we are working for this. I should note that Ukrainian army now is NATO army. We are fighting by NATO weaponry, with NATO weaponry. We are fighting according to NATO standards. Our army is trained in NATO countries. So de facto Ukrainian army now is absolutely prepared according to NATO standards, NATO army, with very, very practical experience, which we may share with allies and bring this new practical experience to NATO standards. So thank you so much for your question.
Your question, please.
Here.
Judith from the Spanish news agency Agencia Efe. Mr. Cleverly said earlier that there have been in this conference significant pledges from the commercial world. Can we have a number for that? And also, how is it possible for a company to invest in Ukraine when there is a war on? Meaning, how can they be guaranteed some profit, which I suppose is what they will be looking for? Thank you.
Thank you so much. I named the main numbers in my introductory word. I can repeat that the main amount is 50 billion euros from European Commission and European Union for next 4 years. It's there is many agreements. We will analyze these results and summarize this amount in nearest days, and we'll announce this, because during these days many businesses have their own negotiations. They sign agreements, memorandums. So let's take some time and analyze and summarize all of these results. But the main result is that British and international business is very interested in participation in Ukrainian recovery, because it will be the biggest business project since the Second World War on the European continent. According to the World Bank estimation, 411 billion US dollars is amount of losses and needs for Ukrainian recovery, and this is estimation only territories under Ukrainian control. I think after liberation, all Ukrainian territories, this amount will be double, and we understand that this is project for dozens of years for all European and international businesses. And the main principles which we, during 1 year, announced, United in Defense, United in Recovery, is very important for our partners, for countries which support us. And today, yesterday, we discussed with businesses important issues how to invest to Ukraine. Actually, this is what you asked about. We create a special infrastructure for recovery, special state agency. We create special conditions for investors through the industrial parks, through the direct investments in Ukraine. State agency Ukraine Invest is supporting any investor who invests more than $12 million projects in Ukraine. But now we are working to create legislation when we will support and go with investor for a smaller amount of money, because we understand that we should support small and medium business also. And yesterday we discussed this on the meeting with businesses. Actually, business asked many questions during this conference. We asked many of these questions, but it is very important that this is two direction movement. So we ask business and have answers, and business have answers too, and we will make more progress in creation better conditions. So this is the result of this conference, that we understand what business want. Investment during the war should be covered by war risk insurance, and we again discussed this. It was proposals of United Kingdom 1 year ago during Lugano conference. Today, after 1 year of mutual work, we have concrete results. Again, I sounded this. International agencies, international partners are financing actually this issue of insurance of war and political risks in Ukraine during this war and after this war. So this is a key challenge for many businesses, how to insure their investments. Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is yours, sir. Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes, raise up your hand. Yes.
Thank you. Taras Yatsenko, Media Hub, Tvoje Misto, or your city, Lviv and Kyiv. Mr. Prime Minister, there have been many conversations throughout these 2 days about the Ukraine's recovery, its processes, investments, funding, mechanisms. But what about people? We all know that both private and public sector already lack many professionals in Ukraine. We know that according to United Nations data from March of 2023, almost 5 million Ukrainians received special status in other countries, in Europe and more other Western countries, and more than 8 million left Ukraine. Is there any strategy, does the government has any strategy of communicating with these people, of getting them back? And don't you think that there should be a special ministry for refugees? Thank you.
Thank you so much. Important challenge, and I should add some statistics. Since beginning of this war, Ukraine lost 3.5 million jobs in our country. We lost more than 30% of our GDP. More than 4.5 million people are refugees out of Ukraine, mostly women and children. About 1 million children in this amount of in this quantity of people. So we have some researchers which tell us that 85% of Ukrainians would like to come back to Ukraine after this war. So the main conditions for their coming back into Ukraine are security. This is number one condition. The war should finish and we should bring security. It's NATO membership, it's protection and air defense, it's closed borders. So all of these issues, plus we make special parameters for security in schools, hospitals, and all around, even in living houses. So this is the condition number one for many refugees which had left Ukraine in the beginning of this war. The second issue is work. So all of these people, all of this mostly of women, need to have jobs and need to earn money in Ukraine. So because of this, now we implement many programs for small, micro, medium businesses. We make grant programs. We make light loans programs for small and medium business, 579, you know it, and grants for creation of micro and small businesses. But we urge our partners to go to Ukraine and create jobs. We also appreciate and very grateful to this British business which stay in Ukraine despite the war and still and continue play the taxes and save the working places. Many of businesses even create additional jobs for Ukrainians in Ukraine. So we really appreciate this. We understand which conditions we should create to bring back Ukrainians from abroad. Now we have some ideas and conceptions, and inside of the government we work to present our refugees, and more than our refugees, all Ukrainians all around the world, possibility and conditions to go back to Ukraine. It's very important because you understand that even 1 million children, it's our future. So we are very interested to bring these children back to Ukraine. But these jobs and these people, it's our GDP, taxes, it's our development, and we also are very interested in bringing back these people into Ukraine. Thank you, sir, for your question.
Thank you. The last question is yours, sir. Yes. Yes.
Thank you. Bruno Mantegas from the Portuguese news agency. You spoke about the medium-term funding that you have received pledges during this conference, and during our initial speech you mentioned 6.5 billion that you were expecting to raise here. Have you been able to crunch the numbers and know how much have you been able to, this gap, how much have you got? Thank you.
Thank you so much. Important question, important issue. Actually, I will repeat. According to the estimation of World Bank, for the rapid recovery needs, it's 5 directions. It's number 1, it's energy sector. So recovery of energy sector, immediate recovery, because we are going to the next heating season, to the next winter, and we need recover energy generation, energy grid, gas supplying capacities. So this is number 1 priority. Second priority is humanitarian demining, because without this we can do nothing. Everything is under mining pollution. More than 174 square kilometers, 174,000 square kilometers in Ukraine under mine pollution. So we should demine. Because of this, this is a second priority. Third priority is housing. We should repair houses and flats that people could live normally. Fourth priority is critical infrastructure repairing and economical support, so for small and medium businesses, as I told. So for these 5 directions, we need 14.1 for next 12 months. In Ukrainian budget, we have 3.3. We have about 4 billion from our partners. We have additional money for different directions which partners support, but we should be concentrated on this rapid recovery needs according to the World Bank estimation. During our multi-agency donor coordination platform yesterday, we discussed this needs, additional need for 6.5. We understand how to cooperate with G7 countries and with international financial organizations, and I'm sure that nearest time, after this conference, according to the results of this conference, we will collect all needed money and will invest this for rapid recovery needs in Ukraine. Thank you so much for your question.
Dear colleagues, thank you for your attention. Briefing is over. Thank you.
Thank you so much. All the best to you. Thank you.